at all.
Yeah, well,
No,
and that's
because he
mostly
has a mixed
because
variety of ages.
yeah, I've got a mixed variety of ages, and like I take more of a philosophy of, hey, let me help you forget about it for a little bit.
Yes,
Whereas
which has rubbed off on me quite a bit.
Yuki, you definitely am
On
like, hey, let's talk about it. Like
Yes,
you're sitting there, you're pulling the chair up to the dining room table, you're flipping it around, you're sitting in it backwards, and you're like, hey,
yeah,
champ, how's it going? How's your day?
I do.
And you're
Yes,
just and like I like that, but like I as someone with a mental disability as it is, I can't, I can't.
you
The
can't handle
empathy's
it.
too high. I
Yeah,
can't handle it, which sucks
I
because I'd love to, but like
I
I'm
was
not here for that.
trained in talking to people like that. I do not have a
Yes.
license. I am not a professional, but because of that training, I know how to handle it and separate myself emotionally unless you're extremely close to me.
Yeah.
Um, so sometimes when things get really serious, I'll either direct them to services that they need, or I'll be like, hey, we can talk about this in private after chat. It's getting too personal, and I don't want to put you on like the a platform like that for
Oh
everyone
God.
to start
Yeah.
commenting,
Yeah.
which does happen. If you say something personal in Twitch chat, people will comment about it. So be careful about that. I've
Yeah.
seen it happen many times. One of our shared viewers has a lot of health problems, and every now and then someone will try to give them advice on a health problem that they've already tried or that doesn't work because of a different health problem. And it's
Oh
very
God. Yeah.
infuriating and it puts you in a bad headspace. So just be aware of your own limits too before you say something in Twitch chat.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's an issue. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, circle back.
Ah, oh
I'm
God.
sorry. Choking on my own saliva.
Don't die, please.
Okay, circle back real quick. A VTuber costs and model selection. Can we talk about that?
Ooh.
Can we talk about
Yeah.
that? Cause like, okay, look, this may come across as kind of crass and kind of rude to our like, new VTubers, emerging VTubers, people who are getting onto the scene, who didn't get onto the scene when we got onto the scene like 2.5 years ago. Um, I want to preface this by saying I was a face streamer and a flesh tuber. Yes, I lived in the
Same.
meat suit for years before I was like, I kind of want to. And for the very same reasons that you mentioned. Like I find this form very disarming than some
Yes.
bearded dude who's balding in his 30s with like look, I'm not going to shortchange you guys. You're going to get a picture painted. I don't want to give you guys that because like I don't find that disarming. I find that kind of just a reminder of life. So here we are looking like this. I'm an anime man with golden retriever ears because like I've got a golden retriever and this is how I remember her. She's not dead. She's just not in my possession. She's with my parents. And like I see like people who are like, oh yeah, I just dropped like $1,000 for this model. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're not there 6 months later.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Don't let yourself hit burnout because
like,
usually burnout is the
ugh.
killer of VTubers.
And it's not only that, it's just like people are like, tee hee ha ha, I'm gonna get into this because like I think it's funny. And they don't realize like the small business minutia and like the growing your brand and like all of
Yeah.
the requirements for social media. And then they get there, they hit the wall, and then they give up and then they graduate and then they leave.
Twitch is like streaming in general is a full-time job on top of the
Yeah.
full-time job that you need to support this one.
Yeah. And
It's
like,
a job
oh,
without pay a lot of the time. And all the money that you're going to get will immediately go back in
straight
to
back
make things
in.
better, to upgrade, or like I don't know, but you're not going to have the money that you make from stream
God, no.
if you want your stream to advance. You're just not going to do it. And that's just the reality of it for the first few years. And until you hit it big, it's going to be like that. So don't get anything twisted only because your favorite
Yeah.
VTuber, you're like from the big leak a few years back, like, well, this VTuber is making $1,000 a month or whatever. No, they're not. No, they're not. I promise you
God,
they're
no.
not.
No.
especially after taxes. You have to do that yourself. Me personally, if I get anything from Twitch, I'm saving 30% of it.
Oh God, yeah. Um,
Hmm.
ugh. But yeah, chat for real. Sorry, chat. I mean, dear viewer, here's the deal. If you're gonna do this, if you're thinking about doing this in this space, you got to consider a lot of different stuff. We're not gonna outline a lot of that here. All I'm saying is make sure you consider: is this gonna be a viable brand? Is this gonna be a viable thing in like the future? And like, I get it. A lot
Yes.
of female presenting VTubers will change their models on like a yearly basis, and that's because like a lot of us dudes, we're just like, yeah, this is the dream model. I don't really mind. And I think from a female perspective, what that is, and Yuki, help me out here. Otherwise, I'm going to sound like a horrible
Women
bigot.
like,
I'm not.
yes.
Hold on.
We've
Hold
had this
on.
conversation before.
Hold on.
Um,
Let me state my
women like
opinion.
to, okay.
And I think it's because like ladies are like, all right, I got to change my look every so often, and so like that bleeds into the VTuber sphere, right? Is that it?
Kinda. It's kind of what I was gonna say.
Hey yo.
Women like to reflect what they feel inside on their outside, and it makes them feel more
Oh.
comfortable in their bodies.
Okay.
So as their personalities change, as their wants in life change, so does their appearance and
I
their
got you.
style. So that's why a lot of women will change their VTubing models a lot, which is why I said make sure your model is customizable. Make sure that you can get new clothes for it and things like that. Because if it's not, and you need to make an entirely new rig to change the model's clothing, it's going to be a financial problem very quickly.
Yeah. It totally will be. Wink wonk. Look, I've changed the
Oh,
model
poor
outfit 5
shades.
times today.
I've noticed every time you've done it.
It's funny.
At first, I thought it was glitching until I realized that you changed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Because I was going to mention it at first.
No, no, no. I was doing it intentionally. See if you.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed.
But yeah, like that's the thing I struggle with seeing because I don't know. I don't know if it's the ADHD in me. I don't know if it's the autistic in me. But like I hate seeing people
It's the
go through
tism.
it. I hate seeing people go through it and they're like, ah, yeah, 1.0. And then like, oh, yeah, 2.0. And I'm like, Gabriel, you've had 1.0 for like a year.
Make sure your hair is customizable. Make
Oh,
sure your
God. Yes,
clothing is
yes, yes, yes,
customizable.
yes.
And make sure that you have extra assets that you can add on or take away at your leisure, because those things are things that you will want to change.
So that leads me to topic 2. And by topic 2, I mean topic, how much longer you want to do this?
Yes,
We're at an hour.
that's fine. I thought we would probably go for two, so I carved
Sounds
out
good.
that time for it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I just wanted to make sure. So, that's another thing. Another thing. Oh my God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Frick.
It'll
Oh,
come later.
yes.
Oh,
So, in your many iterations, because you've had like what, 3 now? 3 iterations
yes.
of PNG or V tuba.
Yeah,
What made
yeah.
you choose all those forms?
Okay, so I will go by form. Okay.
Yeah.
So the PNGs were of the same character but different hair color and different outfit. And the reason that happened is because a long time ago, when in the internet's
In
infancy,
the year
I used to be an
2004.
RPer. Yes, that was one of my RP models. That
Hey
was the
yo.
first character I had ever made, and it was supposed to represent my inner world.
Okay, cool.
And uh, yeah, so it kind of grew with me as my personality changed. So did its hair color, so did its outfits, but it stayed basically the same.
Okay,
The
that's
one
neat.
thing that stayed was the the heterochromia thing.
All
Even the
right.
colors have changed in the heterochromia, but the
Can confirm. I think they
everything else
have.
has changed. Yes. Um.
Well, compared to
so
what you used to be, to what you were, to what you, yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay, sorry.
So then I got a 2D VTubing model, my first one, and it was a little bunny girl.
What
It
about the
caused
in between
problems.
one? The one in between
Huh?
that. There was one for a month where you were a Vroid.
Right.
Yeah, remember? You were a Vroid for like a month. Chat, I swear, I'm not crazy. It's like when we
Was I?
first met.
Hold on, let me see. Let me.
Yeah, like yeah, like for literally a month, like you would stream like a handful of times with like a Vroid model.
Are you talking about the bunny?
No, before that.
Um,
Or was that a live 2D that you got off of an art website?
it may have been. Well, I drew all of my PNGs.
Yeah. Well, chat, we're
Yeah.
looking at deep Yuki history.
Yeah, I do have memory problems. I will if this is the thing, I will remember it later and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's what you were talking
Yeah,
about."
yeah. It was a model that wasn't rigged properly, and you were at a point where you were just like, yeah, they kind of just ghosted me. I'm not gonna bother.
That one.
Yeah, that one. Remember?
Oh.
Remember? Chat, you gotta. Oh,
Yes.
okay, chat. That's another thing. Side note. Sometimes you just gotta say words until we like hit that memory trigger, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh yeah, that, and then be prepared for a half-hour conversation.
So, the story behind that one, I paid someone to do my
Yeah.
model. At the time it was a pink-haired one. It was a
Yeah.
Neko, very cute. Um what I got in return for the
Oh
money
God.
was
Tragic.
honestly a piece of shit. I
Tragic.
cannot sugarcoat that. It was a piece of shit. Um, I cried about it for weeks. I messaged the lady and I said, "This is not what I wanted. You got every single color wrong. It was
Dang.
supposed to look 2D. You did 3D. Nothing works. It didn't have any expressions on it. It didn't track my
Oof.
eyes correctly.
Oof.
Its mouth was glitching. Its tail didn't move. Nothing was right on this model." And I asked for curly hair because I'm a natural curly haired person, and it was pinned straight.
Oh
And there were
no.
like pieces of the hair missing too.
Oh
Like you could
wow.
see where the mesh was supposed to meet and it didn't. And I just threw a fit. And she's like, "Okay, well, give me time to fix it." And I said, "No, just give me the files. I'll fix it myself." And she
Dang.
blocked me.
Dang.
So that's why it does not exist in my files anymore. I want nothing to do with it. Like, nope.
Understandable.
Yeah. So yeah, the bunny model though,
Oh my
I won
God, the
that
bunny
from
model.
the bunny model. One of my friends, a crafty jellyfish, was working on trying to rig, and she made herself have I think it was a 3-day challenge, one
Okay,
VTuber
cool.
model a day from scratch
Oh my God.
while chat watched. And chat was picking every single aspect of those models. And I happened to be in I happened to be in the chat the day of the drawing for one of the models, and I
Yeah.
happened to win it, and it was the bunny girl model. Chat went kind of wink
Feral?
wonky that way, if you know what I mean. Feral, yes, that's a good
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
They went a little feral. They made her pretty
Playboy bunny-esque?
100%. That's exactly what she was, but she looked like a Pokemon character.
What?
Should I show it? Should I?
I mean, if you're comfortable with it, but like
Yeah,
we
okay.
can we can show it in post if you'd like.
I can change to it really quick.
Oh God. I don't know where you're gonna pop up in the scene now. We're gonna have to edit this later, chat.
This is yes.
Give it a minute. I have not loaded in yet.
Okay.
She's in the ether, chat. She's a
And
disembodied
then the
voice.
either.
Oh, hi. There she is. Full screen. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Like the art style, pretty great.
It's
Everything
adorable.
else about it,
If I want a chibi, if I ever want a chibi, I'm going to her because like
heck
this
yeah.
is so cute. And for doing it all in one day, it's not
Yeah.
that bad.
No, the art style looks
It's
really good.
adorable.
And the face range alone, like the rig,
Yeah.
yeah, like you got motion there.
This does not track me correctly with the eyes because I have glasses and it's looking at the glare instead of my pupils, but that is
Yes.
not her doing. That is
That's VTube
that's
Studio and a
VTube
webcam.
Studios. Yep. It had nothing to do with her doing anything wrong. It happens.
Yeah, you can't change that even if you want to.
Nope.
Like even if you really wanted to chat, you couldn't. You just could not. And that's kind of an unfortunate part about it. Cause like eyeglass wearers, this is not a hobby for you unless you get creative with lighting and camera placement.
Or get contacts, which I am
Yes,
planning on doing because it's a lot less expensive.
true. True. But I went
Um,
with an iPhone basically because I wanted the upgraded tracking for VBridger and stuff
yes.
like that. Because we're now
But
in
yeah,
model
those were my
1.5.
models. I
And
was
what brought
gonna
you to
use
this
the
one?
orange kitty instead of the calico, but then I had a death of an orange kitty and I couldn't stand to look at it at the moment. So yeah, so that's where the calico came in. And honestly,
He
I
was a
think
good
it's way
being.
more inviting. He was a good
R.I.P. my
kitty.
homie. He was a good
Oh, he
being,
was so
chat.
cute. That, oh my god, I had
That
a
almost broke
breakdown about
you.
that.
That almost broke you.
Yeah,
Like completely. I was there for that. It was tragic. And I didn't have any
yeah,
words to say other than, hey, look, you did your best. And he's not suffering now. And
yeah.
it was the worst. Having to say that, the worst thing I've ever said. I want you to know that.
Mm,
Because like no one wants to go
I
through
figured,
no one
yeah.
wants to go through that. And you tried your hardest to make sure that he was gonna be happy and healthy.
$5,000 later in a failed surgery. Like it sucked.
Oh my
It
god,
was a
yeah.
horrible loss. Yeah, and it didn't just stop there either. So I was determined to continue to stream because I didn't want to think about it. And
Yeah.
my stream setup was in the room that was his med bay for a while. And
Yeah.
we had to keep my cat Spice out of that room because he was sick and she's a big bully. She would just beat the ever
She's a
living
chunk.
crap out of him. Yeah, so we had to keep the cat separate until he was healed
A
enough to
chunk.
actually fight back when he needed to. And Shades, me, and Glorgus. I think there were a few others live. I think it was Ark. And my cat, Spice, crawls under my desk and she makes this broken meow. And
Oh
it
god.
sounds exactly like him. This happened live.
I remember
Um,
this. You stopped streaming
and
because of this.
I said, "Oh my god." And I grabbed her. I said, "What's wrong?" And I start like checking her everywhere, and she's perfectly fine. She just
Just being
wanted
a
my
drama
attention.
queen.
And then she goes to the other side of me. I'm telling you, she was mimicking his meow exactly. And she has a deep meow. This cat is obese and blind. She does not sound like a male kitten. Okay. So she goes to the other side and then she does the same thing, but more urgent. And I dive out of my chair, slide across the carpet, and I grab her. I'm like, please
Yeah,
stop. And
yeah.
I'm freaking out and I'm checking her again. And I'm under my desk, hyperventilating. And all I hear is Shades in my ear. Yuki,
You
breathe.
good?
Like,
Take some breaths. Count to 3. Exhale.
I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then I hop back in my seat and I'm like, ugh. And he's like, you're not good, homie. Like, go, go do something else. You should not be live right now.
Oh my god.
That was the worst experience ever.
Oh my god. Let's talk about that too.
hmm
Chat, look,
Worst
here's the deal.
experiences?
No, not worst experience, but like there are times when you have to like as a streamer, um the myth that well I'm not you know the whole how to put it into words. You see this where everyone's like, oh, I can't stream today, I oh no, and then like
hmm
they don't stream for like a week because like you break the cycle.
Yes. Cycle breaking. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
no, 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 like the cycle of streaming, and then you're just like,
Yes.
oh, I can't go back to it. It's too hard. Oh, and look, chat.
Or
I'm
like,
not.
I will tomorrow. I will
Yeah,
tomorrow. It's
I'm.
been too long.
I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm not, because like there are people out there that legitimately have serious trauma, and that's okay. Like if you got to take a little bit, but like you
Come
see,
back.
come back like sooner rather than later. And like I sound like an ass for saying this, but like um look, sometimes you got to stream through it, and you just
Mhm.
have to, because otherwise you're gonna get into the cycle of self-loathing and hate, because you're just like, oh, I didn't stream, now I hate it, now I hate it, now I hate it, and it's like a downward death spiral of crap.
Yeah.
So like that the bottom line is your 100% like today will not be your 100% tomorrow. And
Mhm.
I'm going to be honest with you. May like March and April and May are not good months for me at all
Yeah.
because of various different trauma. And like this is far reaching in the past, kind of like I'm getting over it slowly kind of thing. Um and like you just even if you feel like shit, you got to stream anyway. And
So
like
here's something I want to add to that though. If you're feeling particularly bad and you know you're not going to be at the par that you hold yourself to, take that day off because
or
that could be someone's first day seeing you.
or
Okay, you could mess up your lucky break by being a certain way that you're usually not. But also with that, inebriation, limit yourself when you're alive.
oh my
Trust
god, look,
me.
look, we have seen some horror stories.
Mhm.
But I would say or before we get into